Good evening, YouTube model railroader fans, as I go off the camera. This is going to be the start of vlog number 5 for 2020. It happens to be the 27th of January 2020, and I've been sitting here at the bench going over some of my passenger cars. I've got I've got 3 sets done. And yes, Big Bill, no, this was not part of the railroad. I saw your comment on vlog 4, so no, if you didn't see the comment, no, this was not a part of me working on the railroad. This was me trying to ice skate without ice skates. Anyway, I got 3 sets done, and I'm working on one of the more of the pain in the rear end sets now. I'm actually, sorry, I'm moving the tripod here. I'm actually working on, because I'm noticing it's not quite level for some stupid reason. And of course, then again, I've always been a little uneven, but that's beside the point. I'm working on the Wabash passenger cars. I got one of them done, and what a pain in the butt these things are. These here are 6-axle trucked passenger cars. They're Rivrossis, and they unlike the Athearn cars that I've got sitting over here, which weren't too bad. I did find a couple of wheels that were just a little off, not much, but I got those back engaged. My Pennsylvania cars were fine. My older, I think they're either older Athearn or they may even be Penline Baltimore and Ohio passenger cars were spot on. Of course, now those cars are much shorter, and I hadn't been running those because of the fact that I was trying to make sure I had clearance for the longer cars. So anyway, I'm going to go ahead and show you a quick, or try to show you what I'm doing here, even though I'm doing it one-handed. Going through and actually checking the gauge on these cars. I'm getting ready to work on the Wabash REA car, or Railway Post Office RPO car. So let's go ahead and swing the camera. Hopefully this shows up okay. The bench. I'm going to put my, I was using my eyeglasses at one point, but I realized that this was a lot better. Now, one of the interesting things with these cars is, and this one here's got some sort of thread or something stuck around it. It's not fuzz, which I did find on one of the other cars. This one here's got some sort of thread stuck in it. Of course, I don't know why I'm bothering to do it this way, because I gotta probably take the wheels out because they're probably at the gauge. And they are. And that set doesn't seem to be too bad. And that set's a little off as well. Alright, so the 2 end ones have got to come out. So, and this one here has a piece of thread wrapped around its wheel. Now the interesting thing with these, and it's probably not going to show up very well on camera, but these here are solid axle and they split in between. And you've got to keep them even, because if not, then you're going to end up with it being asymmetrical, which is not something that you want. And that's one of the problems that I was having with the last car, was trying to keep the wheels somewhat symmetrical on the axle. And this one here doesn't want to budge. There it goes. Of course, now it's too far away. Of course, now it's on, no, that didn't make it to the floor good. Alright, I think that looks pretty good. Let's see what the gauge says. And the gauge says we're good to go. Alright, I'm going to put that one back in here. Make sure it spins. Alright, let's get the clear end out. And if you're wondering, this set of glasses that I'm wearing, or this visor, my father-in-law had, and I have no idea why. He never worked on watches or anything small like that, but I guess when in his haunts on eBay or whatever, Amazon, whatever, he picked up a couple pairs of them, and when we had to clean out his place, I grabbed them because I figured they're going to come in handy, and which they have. I've got two pair. I've got one out here, and I've got one in on my other bench. So I don't have to worry about. And there was thread wrapped around that one too. That will cause problems. All right, get your batucus back in there. Why isn't this? I have to take him back out. I don't like that. It's... Ouch. Don't see anything in there. Of course, now I've got to re-gauge it, because when I pulled it out, it's out of the gauge now. There we go, that's better. Make sure it's still in gauge. And it's not quite. Freaking dog hair. And it is one thing I do miss with my old place, is that I didn't have to worry about the dog hair. Sorry folks, I'm trying to get this one readjusted because for some reason when it went back in it didn't go back in straight. Alright, let's take a look at the opposite side. Narrow, on, narrow. Well, let's see if we can do this one here a little bit differently. Hopefully without taking it out. But I don't think that's going to be a possibility. Well, it'll be one thing that Sparky probably won't have to worry about in his shed. I doubt that if he's got any animals, they won't be out there. I don't know where the heck that thread came from. I wonder if that came from whoever I bought these from. Alright, that's now on gauge. Let's see how well I did with this one. There we go. Alright, so that one's done. That's 2 of 4. Anyway, I'm not going to bore you anymore with that. So, hopefully, within maybe another half hour, 45 minutes to an hour, who knows, maybe I'll be able to run these things again. So, we'll be back. Okay, so this is going to be an interesting shot, but this is the switch that I was having issues with, and I think I may have mentioned it in the last vlog, but I found the problem, believe it or not, and it has to do with the fact that, of course, I'm using a sectional track, but I'm finding that there is a difference in manufacture between the 22-inch radius tracks that I was using. Believe it or not, there is a difference. Apparently, some of them are a little longer and some are a little shorter. Don't ask me why, I have no idea. I don't know if it's got to do with the age or what. They're 22-inch radius. If you put them side by side, they're 22-inch radius, but the arc is the same. But if you lay them on top of one another, they're not the same. I'm trying to see if I can find a pair here to kind of, actually I know I've got a pair sitting over there because I took them out. So that fixed my derailment issue. However, it created another one, and I'll get to that in a second. Let me go ahead and find this section of track that was causing me an issue. And of course now that I've taken them off, it doesn't seem to matter. They're all the same. But trust me, when I was putting this thing together before, I found that I had some 22-inch radius that was a little bit shorter. But anyway, case in point, if you take a look right here, let me see if I can, right there we go. Those tracks are a little close. I just now have to figure out how I can get them spread back apart the way I want them. They should be, I think when I measured this out before, I think they're like 1.25 inches or 2 1/4 inches or something. I don't remember what I had set up. I'm trying to see if I can find, because I made marks on the side. They're supposed to be 2 1/4 inches apart. I guarantee you they are not 2 1/4 inches apart. From rail to rail, and I'm measuring the inside here to the outside here. That's how I was doing this before, and I'm under 2 inches. That's too close. You know, if I go over here to where the mountain range is, and of course I just got finished messing with all this, so this is a little loose, but that's 2 inches. I can deal with 2 inches. That is a little too close, and I'm not sure how I'm going to fix that yet. Now, conventional wisdom would be probably to take one of these neat little short sections of track that I've got floating around and put it down here someplace. I probably ought to zoom this back out so you guys can see what I'm talking about. Dang it, I keep hitting the tripod. Anyway, conventional wisdom would probably be to come over this way and stick one of these neat little short section of track and move this whole section over. That would probably work. But I'm not sure if that's what I want to do. Now, one of the other things that I just got finished doing, and of course I'm not going to show it right now, but I did have the Wabash running, which you can barely see back there. There he is. I did have him running, and he ran across this section just fine. But what I also decided to do, because I hadn't thought about it, is this section here, and I think I mentioned this in one of the other vlogs, from this point here all the way over to where Newton's farm is going to be. I'm going to point this out. All the way over to here is a block on the outer, or actually the block actually will stop probably somewhere in here. But regardless, this block is so that if there is a freight train working, you know, dropping off and picking up cars in the coal and logging industry, a passenger train can still run past it without it being interrupted. So you've got this crossover, you've got the crossover that I just got finished fixing over here, right there. And then when we follow this all the way over towards the yard, there's another set of crossovers for the same reason. So those will be blocked sections, so that way I can do runarounds. So that way if I've got a through train coming through, they can still run without causing a problem. So we're going to stop here for tonight, folks. We'll be back later. See ya. I'm not done with this vlog yet. Stop. Alright, folks. It happens to be Sunday, February 2nd, of course. But went to the train show today, and I actually got some parts, and what we're going to do is I'm going to try and swing the camera over here, because, yeah, we'll do it this way. I actually got my curved turnouts. So I got all 4 of the curved turnouts. And I also got, unfortunately, I was only able to pick up one of the 19-degree crossings, so that's a little bit of a bummer. But the thing is that at least I can go ahead and get something started over here for the passenger trains. So what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to stop here for a second. I'm going to grab up some stuff, and we're going to come back over here. So give me a minute, we'll be right back. Okay, I kind of went ahead and got started so that way I wasn't boring you all with what was going on here. But as you can see, there is the 2 curved turnouts and the start of the passenger runs that'll go up underneath of Boeville. So I've got the foam down. Yeah, there's a big vise in the middle of that, but because that's what I was using to hold the truck so I could cut it, because I found out that using these curved turnouts, they don't actually come to a complete curve with the inside. So I'm now going to start working on this side, and like I said, I'm not going to bore you all with watching what I'm doing, so I'm just going to zoom this back out, and I'm going to continue on. I'll show you what it looks like when I get done. So we'll be back. Alright, folks, I know I didn't show a whole lot of this, but I did eventually get everything over here. Now, of course, I still got a bunch of stuff up on the layout here, but as you can see, we do have 2 trains sitting under what will be Boeville. I parked them there specifically to see how much room I had, and believe it or not, I've actually got just enough room to be able to park the trains, it seems. I've had some other issues with other parts of the layout, so I'm not in a very good mood at the moment. Ooh. You didn't need to be that close. Can I zoom this back out? There we go. So I've got, I don't know why, all of a sudden I've got issues on the opposite end. I haven't even touched anything down there lately, but I've got issues down towards the farm area, and I have to figure that out. But I did accomplish, after getting the switches from the show, which was an interesting endeavor in and of itself. I bought 4 switches, I think, in fact I'm pretty sure they're all Shinohara curved switches, which are great switches, don't get me wrong. One of them was factory set up with gaps. The other one, or one of the 4 was set up with factory gaps. The other ones were not, although 2 of them were fine. I didn't have any issues with those, but one of them, and in fact I'm thinking now, looking at it, I take that back. I think all but one was factory gapped, and that was the one I had issues with. I ended up kept shorting out, and I am not sure why, so I gapped the frog on either end, and then went ahead and put jumpers across the tracks on the opposite side of the frog, and it seems to be fat, dumb, and happy now. So that's the good thing. Like I said, the bad news is I've got issues on the opposite end of the layout now. So that's going to complete the vlog for this week, and this one here's a couple days late because I was messing with this. So you all know the deal. Wait for the highball. Green tracks ahead. Be safe. God bless. We'll catch you all next time. See ya.